Hello, and welcome back to ManaPot Studios' Monster Hearts stream, The School for Evil and Good, based on Saman Chainani's book series, The School for Good and Evil. I'm Chris Bernal, aka Krifu, he, him pronouns, and I am the MC for this game. And I'm super excited. It's our first season finale. And before I tell you any more about how I feel, let's introduce the cast and see how they feel. Starting to my left.
It's me.
Hopper, yes.
Always you, Hopper.
You know what? My phone just died, so I'm not on Twitch. Sorry, guys. Hey, what's up? I'm Hopper. My pronouns are wibbly and wobbly these days, but that's probably the best way to put it out there. I am playing Trip, the stocky, stalwart, no longer shaggy-haired, now faux-hawked, angsty-ass puppy boy who's using the Cerberus playbook, and currently one of the captains of the Never School. I personally
Top-ranked Never.
Orkia.
Oh yeah. PG-13. All right, sorry, I just used our one for the entire stream.
Right.
Oh, it's the
Yeah, that's
finale.
going to
It's
be the
already
only
done.
one that's
Wow.
That's definitely how that works. Anyways, yeah, I can be found on social media, usually at as Fail Deadly, and that is with a 3 instead of an E, because I'm awful. And yeah, I don't know. I don't really have anything else.
I will start then. I am Maddie. You can use she, her, or they, them pronouns with me. I am playing Shinnok, the other Never School captain. She's very tall. What? Oh, I'm number one. Oh, I'm number one. I thought Trip had usurped me, but no, I'm still number one. I'm queen of the school, the Never School. Anyway, Shinnok is, as a reminder, she's very tall. She's got this long red hair that's usually tied back in some sort of elaborate braid or ponytail. And she is the sort of, she has the sort of consciousness of this ancient sort of trickster entity, Reynard, in her brain, just rattling around for her to deal with. And that's pretty much it for Shinnok. You can find me at Cellartator on most social medias. I do lots of art and other fantasy things.
And from one family curse to another.
I'm Marcy, aka Experimental Madness, most places on the internet. And I'm playing Lilu Beaumont. Not quite a high ranking ever, but hey, top 3 now. So I'm getting there. Had a bit of a rocky first year, but I think we're very close to maybe ending it. If not on a high note, then much better than she was. For those just joining us, Lilu is quite short, big bushy brown curly hair that she used to like to hide behind, but is now learning to tie it back and starting to speak her mind just a bit more. Yeah.
And I am David, he, him. I am an illustrator, graphic designer, and game designer. Check out my stuff over at dbb-8.itch.io. I am playing Milo Greenbonnet, a uptight soldier boy who, up until now, even though he's trying his absolute best, really has not climbed up that high in the rankings at the School for Evers, which he is a part of. However, he has developed, in addition to his very upright and proper nature, developed a bit of a reckless streak. So we're going to see how that plays out.
Is he just reckless? What conditions is Milo rocking these days?
Milo's conditions currently are reckless, insecure, and weak.
Oh no!
And in Monster Hearts,
Your boy's got a lot going on.
conditions can be used by the other players as well as the MC. I don't know. Because I don't make rolls.
I think so. Yeah.
But conditions are really about what everyone else thinks about you. So it's interesting because even though you're not necessarily the top ranked, people have a lot of opinions about Milo, both in the School for Good and Evil.
Yeah. Milo, in the academic rankings, maybe not so high, but he's made some waves. More negative than positive, probably, if we're being honest.
I mean, either way, you're in the top 10 out of 120 students. Not too
So
shabby.
hey, not that bad. Not that bad.
All
Well-
of our students are on the track for leadership positions to become eventual main characters in their own fairy tales written by the Storian, a magical artifact that we haven't talked about at all this season. And that's fine because in some ways our characters' fairy tales haven't begun yet. Is that weird? Like we're
What?
here...
Nah, we're in training.
Yeah.
We're learning how to do it.
It's always nice to get some, like, a prologue, precursor, anyway. I want to thank everyone for being with us in chat today. R.A. Derbs, thanks for coming back. I also see G. Michael Austin, who's been with us from the beginning. It's been super great having you here with us. Great Zamino, of course, fellow captain here at ManaPot Studios. You can check out his stream this Sunday with Hopper and Marcy at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, our Invisible Sun game. But I digress enough. I've been prolonging actually starting the last session of our first season. So let me find some music for this shirt. And
So close.
I had
So
one
close.
and I already used it.
let's get this party
Do
started.
we get one of each? Do we get one of each word? Is that
I'm
the
not
system?
sure that's how the
I
ratings
don't
work.
Nope.
I mean, to be fair, that is a very broken system designed by some very uptight and problematic people. There's a couple very good documentaries out there about the, what is it, MPAA or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the worst. They're low-key kind of evil.
We can take them down another day.
Yeah.
One franchise at a time.
One franchise at a time.
Not this franchise.
No, we love this one.
There might be a movie.
That's kind of exciting.
Ooh.
But this movie, the camera opens across the endless woods. In fact, I think we see a macro picture of the endless woods, a land where fairy tales are real, not just real, but make up the very fabric of reality. Across the endless woods, it's not just forests, but deserts and oceans and mountains and plains, magical lands and settings from across all myths and legends and tales. But deep in the center of all of this wonder and fantasy lies the School for Good and Evil. And we see these two castles now, approaching over the treetops of the forest. On the left, a castle dark, black and red, with black, dark clouds almost kind of hanging around it, and bats and ravens flying across its parapets. On the right side, a bright castle, shining in the setting sunlight. It's winter. It's not snowing tonight, but you can see the snow nestled softly on the grounds and on the peaks and towers of this school. Maybe there's a couple snow people on the Evers side of the clearing, and then on the Nevers there's a couple of snow people knocked down. And we come to the western side of the School for Good, where a long bridge crosses the lake that separates the castles. And we can see a trail of Never students dressed in their black uniforms, With maybe we see 10 of them in special outfits that they've been allowed to wear tonight during their competition. And as they file into the Theater of Tales, we see the theater split down the middle. On one side, the Never side, again, dark and creepy with bat decorations and paper skeletons, because why not? And on the right side, of course, the Ever decorations, stars and white flowers, blue sashes, and golden pillows. We see that the Ever students are there already, most of them in their blue and pink uniforms. But again, 10 of them are wearing different things. And in the middle, we see Shinnok looking across the Ever's side.
Yes, I am looking for Milo. Trying to find him amongst the crowd of students.
What are you wearing tonight?
What am I wearing tonight? That is a great question. Was I allowed to pick?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Definitely a black ensemble. I imagine it's some sort of, I think probably black, those fancy high-waisted, black jeans, black pants rather, not jeans, the skinny ones. And then, I don't know fashion. I can see it in my brain, but I can't articulate. But those kind of high-heeled, sort of fashionable boots, and then a black sort of flowy tank top and maybe some sort of cloak over that. And then all of it has this golden trim. I think this red gold trim throughout. Very fancy. She's dressed to the nines. Oh, and her hair is definitely super done up. It's got black lace all the way through it. She's dressed for success.
Number one ranking Never has to intimidate the competition.
Exactly.
And you can see a couple Ever students looking back at you and whispering. A couple of girls in their pink dress uniforms are like, "Oh my God, she looks so scary."
I wink at them.
Oh, they turn. But
they die a little on the inside.
Their faces go pale. But you see Milo enter in from the other side of the theater through the castle for good. Milo, how are you dressed tonight?
Yeah, so we see Milo. Milo is a boy of 16, fairly short for his age, but still fairly fit. He is dressed in... I think Milo has somehow acquired the ballet version of a soldier's outfit. So normally we see Milo in sort of a very proper either Ever school uniform or when he's in his off time in the blue uniform of the Inguri cadet as a cadet in the army of Inguri. However, for this occasion, this performance, he's put on a little flair, and he has a sort of a very tight-fitting jacket and breeches. It's definitely one of those. It's definitely one of those jackets with the sort of lines of rope, like the sort of gold braided cord going across it. Epaulets. With fringe on them, and some just not unnecessarily tight. Let's keep it calm here. But for Milo, way too tight. White breeches and some fairly high leather boots. So it's sort of a performance outfit.
What you just described the Ever version of the fucking Forkin My Chemical Romance costume from Welcome to the Black Parade.
I
just couldn't. Once
I don't know the
realized-
reference, but I accept this. Yes, and.
Yeah.
Almost like
Yes.
a marching band conductor.
Oh,
Yeah.
the song is now there. There it is. in my
Yep.
head.
Yeah. And of course, as always, Milo does have his Inguri Army Cadets tin badge pinned to his breast.
Shinnok, I think it's fairly easy for you to spot Milo, not just because of his changed appearance, but because of the fact that several of his fellow Ever students are, like, looking and talking about it.
Like about his appearance or just him in general?
That he looks so, I think one Ever turns to another and he says, man, I guess I just thought Milo's closet was nothing but the same outfit over and over again.
Damn. I think, normally Shinnok would laugh at this, but, she is actually very, very nervous. She is, I think she's insecure, after sort of getting, so Shinnok has the condition manipulative right now.
From your last encounter.
Yes, from my last encounter with Milo. But I think she's feeling, sort of as a result or, tangentially related to that, sort of insecure in her own abilities. Most of her abilities revolve around bending others to her will. And I think she has obviously taken note of that. And while she does have some, she has some magical talent, she is I think she is now, especially because this theater, this sort of sentient theater doesn't have a face, doesn't have, it's not a person. She can't look at it and identify its weaknesses.
So the only thing that's visible is a floating golden crown. Not jagged per se, but definitely spiked.
Dang.
Just floating above the stage, almost in a spotlight.
Yeah, and I think that's really scary for her because she is, I don't think, does anybody really know how the, Theater of Tales works? Yeah, and I think that really bothers her. She's like, I don't know how I'm being judged. Shinnok is very much a person that puts on faces for people, and she doesn't know what face to put on, and that's really scary for her.
But you see Milo enter in.
Yes. And she is going to go over to him. Hey, Milo.
Miss Shinnok?
How's it going? Ready for the circus?
Yes, Miss Shinnok, I believe I'm prepared. And yourself?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm gonna knock him dead.
Very good. Well, if there's nothing else then, I have to be getting ready.
Actually, I wanted to apologize for what happened between us the other day.
Oh. I must say, Miss Shinnok, I certainly can't say I expected that when you walked over here.
The truth is, Lilu and I are friends, and you really, and she would kill me if she knew I was saying this, but you really hurt her feelings. and I'm pretty sure you didn't mean to. That kind of became apparent as I was talking to you. But you really hurt her feelings, and I really care about Lulu, and it just makes me really angry when people don't see her worth, or when people pretend to Evers pretend to be, above everyone else, and then they just treat everybody like crap. And it just really makes me angry, and you made me really angry, and I wanted to hurt you, and sometimes I have this urge to hurt people, and I don't know where it comes from, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, Miss Yanok, I suppose I'm sorry too. When you approached me, I expected more of our last conversation, and you must admit, you were rather harsh.
Yeah.
But perhaps I misjudged you? Or something along those lines?
Milo, I think what I'm really afraid of is that you didn't misjudge me at all. And she's gonna walk away.
Yeah, Milo just stews with that, I think, for a moment.
And Shinnok's kind of shaking, very badly, and trying to find, a small corner to collect herself.
This feels weird. This feels like a weird use of this. Is this a role to turn someone on?
Shutting someone down?
Yeah.
Or I've been trying to figure it out myself.
So
I feel like somebody took a string on someone, and I think I would like to. I'd like some sort of move to happen.
Yeah, I think so too. So what I'm thinking is either it's a weird turn someone on, or it's a gaze into the abyss.
No, that's a purpose. We'd be rolling with magic or something.
Interesting. Okay.
Shinnok is manipulative, or so everyone.
She is.
So
she is.
If she was trying to get something from Milo in this exchange, maybe she was trying to turn him on in a platonic way.
Yeah, see, I feel like turning someone on in a platonic way is a valid use of that move.
Yes.
You're inflaming something.
Yeah.
Right.
But it is an active. Hot versus cold also is the important difference there in the attributes.
Yeah. And then, cold is sort of keeping your cool, and Shinnok is not a very cold person.
Okay.
She burns hot.
Let's roll it.
Yeah. I also have not leveled up this whole game, so I'm kind of hoping that I fail.
If you got strings on Shinnok, use them to give Maddie some experience.
So that is 6 plus 3, so that is a 9.
Okay. Choose one. Excuse me. So, yeah, Milo can either give you a string, or you can choose one of the reactions.
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to give you a string on Milo for that.
Woohoo! That is not an outcome that Shinnok was not looking for. But I do think that the trial of, I'm sorry, not trial. I'm getting them mixed up.
There's
The Circin trial by tale, theater of tales. There's so many. but the Circus of Talents, I think this is really unsettling her. And if you watched last week, I think Trip and Lulu sort of had this very intense moment.
Spiritual boop.
Yes, and I think Shinnok's maybe, and this is with Trip's, Hopper's blessing. I think maybe Shinnok went to Trip this morning, kind of looking for that familiar, silent reassurance, the physical comfort, and Trip was kind of like
distant.
Weird. Ooh. And like that's like unsettling her even more. So like she's totally thrown and like just going just kind of going.
So where is Trip?
I mean, I guess the question is how there's people filing in here, filling up here. I don't know.
Yeah. You're walking across the bridge towards the School for Good to enter into the circus.
Oh, I'm sorry. Trip's very low-key extra and also very anxious about crowds. Definitely lurking on the bridge. Like,
sounds familiar.
Probably is like, latest fashionable kind of rationalization here. But probably files in towards the end of all of this.
And where is Lilu?
I think so. I had a question for you, actually. Has this been a month since the trial?
No, it's been 2.
2. All right. Well, then
it's
it doesn't
February
matter.
13th.
I was asking if at least a month has passed because is it daytime or nighttime?
It is evening. Oh. The sun is setting.
Oh no!
And will shut at sunset.
Beautiful. I do believe that the night before Lilu was out in the woods. This is important for a skill that will help us later. Mm-hmm. And she's coming in middling. Not super late and not super in the front, even though she's the 3rd ranking ever. She is, in contrast to her normally like baggy, shy clothes and the other end of that spectrum, which was the super rad outfit that she wore to the bonfire night when she challenged Parkus to a duel and won. She is pretty simply dressed tonight. She's wearing a flowy, kind of flowery dress, not with actual flowers on it, not like what I'm wearing, but it's like very faintly like pastel-y purple, and her hair is like half down and half up. It's actually like kind of been neatly done, but it's like free-flowing everywhere around her as she's coming in. She looks very much like a flower child right now, minus the sword belt that is still with her and the sword.
I think you're probably coming in with Elaine.
Absolutely.
The dark-skinned woman, she's wearing a full pink dress with her hair poofed out into 2 little pom-poms and pink ribbons around it, and she's wearing the ballet slippers as well. And as you're walking in, through the castle and into the Theater of Tales, she's kind of like doing some quick warm-ups, jumping up onto her toes and maybe like a leap around you. I think definitely a few of the other Ever students, Adara, as well as like Chanticleer, probably look and say hi. Adara kind of being like, she gives you a strange look, like, but she still nods and says hello.
For those that don't remember, I now have a condition that marks me as untrustworthy.
Right. And Chanticleer says hello and stops in front of you and Elaine and kind of clears his throat and puffs up his chest. So, how you feeling about the circus tonight?
Actually, pretty good. I'm kind of excited.
Mind to share your talent?
I do.
Well...
And,
I'm gonna sing.
I don't want to shut you down, but I think she does want to.
Oh, go for it. Oh my god, absolutely.
Like he chewed her out for no reason last time, and she doesn't necessarily like conflict, but doesn't really want to hear him anymore.
Roll with cold.
Ooh. That's a 9.
Okay. You come across poorly, and they give you a condition in return, but you get to choose one of
Racking it
the...
I get to choose the condition?
You get to choose one of the actions from below. So either he loses a string on you, which he might actually have one on.
He does have one.
I think he used it already.
Oh, he did. Good for him.
So that doesn't count. So he has no strings on you. You might gain one on him. You can give him a condition, or you can take one forward, which actually might be really useful if your next roll is your actual talent.
I think I'm gonna take that one forward. I think that's the first time that Lilu has just been like, I'm not here for this.
And he's about to
Not today.
snap the suspenders he's wearing on his white button-up shirt, and just kind of looks stunned and a little offended as you and Elaine stride past him.
I guess that's about when Trip actually shows up into the auditorium, or this space. It's like is it more auditorium or like a concert hall? Like, what's the layout here, Chris?
It's a theater. So we have rows of seats, very much like an auditorium, with a small enough stage at the front. If you have been in here before, ever students, you'll know that there is a small backstage as well, where you can walk up onto the stage. But it's literally, you walk behind a curtain, you pop out on stage. It's that small.
So I think, if anybody was looking outside the doors, you see Trip just kind of have a moment of just kind of working himself, pumping himself up, to deal with whatever's about to happen.
A black-nailed, slender hand grabs your shoulder from behind.
Immediate fight or flight response, spin around and just kind of grab said hand, and
as you grab it, the nails tighten into your shoulder, pricking you as you realize the hand belongs to Dean Morgan Le Fay.
Shucks, I'm sorry, man. And I'll just immediately let go.
She lets go as well, and literally almost detaches her nails from your skin. Nope, not piercing anything, but close. What are you nervous for?
I can't say I'm particularly fond of crowds.
You'll have to get used to it. A true villain can face any challenge that comes their way. Her eyes are boring into yours at this point. You have it. The chance for greatness. But your inner saboteur, I've seen it take down a Never student multiple times.
Literally does this and
Wipes
just goes
snot from his nose.
well, not snot, more itches his face because reasons. But and just kind of looks back at. I think is going to deliberately kind of stare back, do the full stare back at Dean Le Fay, and then very deliberately drop his eyes and look to the side. Just goes, I'll take that under advisement, man.
See to it that you do. I have quite a lot riding on the outcome of tonight's event. The School for Evil is on the rise, my boy. You and Shinnok, having won the trial by tail, was a great feather in my cap. Her black lipstick glistens in the moonlight as the clouds pass over. But I want more. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I won't let Merlin best me again and again and again. Even if I have to kill one of my students through practice. It's a metaphor, darling.
What? Does Trip think that's a metaphor? Because that sounds awfully unmetaphorical.
Roll for metaphor.
I'm not threatening your life, but I will threaten your free time. Fail me tonight, and the next several months will be spent in my dungeon. Understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, please, enter. I need to make a dramatic entrance.
Oh, my little angsty child, why are you like this? So, Trip immediately kicks the door open.
And
Like,
everyone,
full
turns.
on, just full heavy combat boots right to the door as hard as possible, and just rolls right in.
He's the last student to come in, and so literally all eyes turn on you. None of you can see Dean Morgan Le Fay because she's smart enough to quickly duck out of the door frame. But because that you just told me that you're afraid of crowds,
Yeah.
I feel like I need you to keep your cool. And I need you to tell me what it is about crowds that really scares you.
So for Trip, I think crowds it's a double whammy. It's there's too many people to keep track of. There's the lines get blurred. Can't tell exactly who's gonna act how. Everybody's a potential threat, and it's too much. It's just overwhelming at a base level. And then also there's the social aspect of it that he's not personally equipped to handle.
Right.
Like it is a threat. It is a threat both literally and metaphorically.
Roll with cold to act despite your fear.
All right, so I've got a +2 in cold, and let's see if these. Ooh, okay, that's 2 3s, so that's a total of an 8.
Okay, 8. You're good. On a 7 to 9, the MC will tell you how your actions would leave you vulnerable, and you can choose to back down or go through with it. So you know that you could, I don't know, stand here. What is your plan to recover from everyone looking at you? And I'll tell you how it will leave you vulnerable.
There was no plan. This was just this was the epitome of, well, time to rip this this full arm bandage off. Just get it over
a
with.
suggestion?
Please.
Absolutely.
That through that crowd, you just see Lilu wave at you. If everyone is staring at you with confusion, she's just seeing her friend come in. And there's no guile behind it whatsoever.
My heart. All right. So yeah, I guess that's probably a little bit of that's a little bit of a snap out of it in this Trip just kind of rolled in hot with this I come at me kind of attitude, and then yeah, so he's just gonna go and then just trundle down the aisle.
Should I notice this? I'm curious.
You see Trip looking at someone in the crowd.
And it's not me.
You turn back.
Yeah, I turn to look.
You see Lilu waving at him.
Oh God, no.
This could be a stretch, but I kinda would like this. I don't know if it's a realization or a creeping paranoia that accomplishes the same effect, but I do have this as part of the Fae skin. When a promise is broken, I become my darkest. Like a promise is broken, I become my darkest self. And Shinaka's already kind of unbalanced because of this, very anxious, very, off. And then to see, sort of her trip, not looking to her at all after being weird, and then looking at Lulu, who's supposed to be her friend.
Just trying to be friendly.
I don't think she's mad. I don't think she's actually mad at Lulu. I think this is, again, attacking Shinnok's core insecurities, But I will leave that up to the
Did Trip break a
MC.
promise?
I believe when, so when you my intimacy move, is, the text is, when you lie naked with another, you can ask them for a promise. And I believe the promise I asked Trip for was, I believe I asked him for himself. I said, you essentially will be mine.
Then it sounds like he broke a promise.
Yes. Good. Good.
I feel like your pupils grow dark, and there's a black cloud that fills them.
Oh. Okay. Good.
So at that point, the doors open once again, and Dean Morgan Le Fay and Dean Merlin enter the theater, and they go up to the front and they address the students. Hello, dear students, evers and nevers, Merlin says. Hold on, I'm just pulling something up real quick. First term traditions. Thank you all for being here tonight. We know that your classes have been quite busy trying to practice and unlock and enhance your natural talents and instincts. And it's all built up for tonight to see the top students of both schools compete for the crown of talents. I don't know, the circus crown? Does everything have a blank of
Crown
blank?
of talents is good. Yeah.
And maybe there's a little ooh as dancing lights pop up, even illuminating the crown even more brightly. Once this line has been drawn, and Dean Morgan Le Fay moves her fingers, and a silver line splits down the center of the auditorium, completely delineating the side for good and evil. No student shall be able to cross it. And you can see a rowdy never kid get up and try to put his foot across the line, and there's a little zap of blue lightning as it scorches his boot. It grabs his boot, and he's hung by his toes from the chandelier for the duration of the circus.
Nice.
That is incredibly uncomfortable.
And she laughs. I love it when someone decides to be an example for the rest of us. The kid's his one foot is hanging. Very reminiscent of the Hanged Man in the tarot, if you're familiar.
Oh boy.
Students are, of course, have been encouraged to bring signs for cheering for their classmates. Morgan smiles, and she kind of looks at all the nevers it's not optional. And then Merlin nods.
Voluntold.
The circus, of course, will consist of 10 duels between ever and never students. First, we'll start with the 10th ranked pair, and then the 9th ranked pair, moving onwards. For each duel, the ever will first perform their talent, and then the never will perform theirs. The theater is enchanted to select the best winner, and publicly punishes the loser. So I'm gonna need your help as well as Chat's to come up with punishments for some of our duels.
Oh boy.
Impress us with your cruelty.
The school of the student who wins the circus crown will win the right to host the Theater of Tales in its castle next year. And I definitely think that there are a few of the top-ranked students who look at that crown with ambition and desire in their eyes. Now, unfortunately, teachers and faculty are not allowed in the theater during the performance. So at that point, Morgan and Merlin float off of the stage and land on the ground with the silver line in between them, and in unison walk up to the doors exiting, and they nod, and Merlin says, "Good luck!" And the doors slam shut without them touching it. And torches light up, illuminating the stage itself. There are these little sconces around the rim of the stage, throwing light up onto the blue curtains that are drawn. And that's it. There's some silence. Everyone kind of looks around at each other.
Am I standing next to Elaine still?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna reach down and kind of tug on her sleeve and whisper "Good luck, you got this." And I know that you don't roll, but I really would love to use my string that I got from our heart to heart to give her that confidence because she was really nervous.
Okay, yeah. I think that'll give her a +1 move forward. So that works perfectly. And she looks into your eyes. You feel her hand stop trembling. Thank you. You too. And Farkas stands up towards the front. Hands on his hips, golden hair. He's wearing a white blouse and brown leather pants with his sword at his side. He puts his hands on his hips. Well, shouldn't this thing get started or something? He kind of looks up at the crown, looks at the stage.
I mean, they said the 10th ranked students go first, so they might as well get up there. Who's 10th ranked?
There's a boy in the Evers side named Ian.
The leprechaun.
Yes, I was like, where? So he right over here, a short young boy, and we see on the other side of the audience, the Never students kind of grabbing someone out of the crowd and pushing them into the aisle, and it's Dude of Gisborne, the Never who shot Milo with a musket, a blunderbuss.
With a gun!
Yeah.
He had a gun!
And they didn't expel him.
I can't believe that.
It's wild.
Where?
You know what? Let me tell you a thing or two about the American educational system and the problems with fire. Sorry.
I think there's a Never student in the crowd, Ari, who shouts, "It's time to duel!"
Oh my god. Send you to the Shadow Realm.
That's probably where he comes from. And so Dude and Ian are shoved onto the stage. I don't know who will win this, so I think if we just have a Never and Ever make a roll for them, just a flat 2d6 roll to see how it goes, we can determine who wins the duel. And that might be easiest just for us, for me to go down the list. So who wants to roll for Ian, the leprechaun, and for Dude, whose power is turning into a duck?
I gotta roll. Can I roll for our stupid Gizzy?
Yes, for Dude. By all means, Marcine.
I'll roll for Ian since I'm sorry, I did that.
What's Ian's power? What's his talent?
Ian's power is 100% something plant related.
4-leaf clovers.
Yeah, like he's just yeah.
So Ian gets up first, and he uses his talent to make a field of clovers appear around him. And then he reaches down into it.
Clover.
The good clover?
Yeah, like the kind that is really good for milk cows. Mm-hmm.
Can you roll for me, please?
Holy shirt. That's a 12.
I rolled a 4.
And he reaches down into the mass of clovers and he pulls out a small iron cauldron. And as it clangs on, like out of some extra dimensional space, and as it clangs onto the ground, you can see that it's filled with gold, and like a little rainbow shoots out of it. Dude, on the other hand, comes up next and
So happy about this.
turns into a duck. But barely.
End of talent.
He's so nervous as he's getting, because it was a 4. He's so nervous getting up there that he turns into a duck and his clothes fall around him.
Oh,
and
no.
a second later, he pops back naked.
God, it's such an embarrassment.
Dude is played by a young Jeff Bridges.
Is that what we said?
Not established this yet.
Oh my god.
Highly artistically inclined. We just got started with the Circus of Talents.
Oh, poor baby.
So, I feel like being tarred and feathered by the theater is an appropriate punishment for Dude turning into a duck.
This theater is harsh. There needs to be more
now.
punishment than just what happened.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's laughing, but instead, this bucket of black tar appears over him, and then a bucket of white and brown mottled duck feathers appear over him.
Why is the chat poor babying the man who tried to shoot me and shot Milo?
He did.
Also, his name is Dude.
Yeah, we hate this play.
Dude of Gisborne.
Chat, trust us. We hate this play.
Oh my gosh.
The last, magical appearance is a duck mask that's just, strapped around his head.
Enough, he's already dead.
And he just quacks in confusion, despite being in humanoid form.
Lulu was satisfied.
I think that was pretty good karma, honestly.
Yeah.
So round 1 goes to Ian, the leprechaun who will not appear in the rest of this season. It's fine. He might appear. He might be at the Winter Ball. Who knows? Round 2 goes by pretty quickly. There are 2 people that we don't really know, and Ever and Never. One of them, they were made by people in our Discord. So if you're ever curious about helping to name us things, you can join the Discord. Great Zamino suggested Jenna, the daughter of Jack the Giant Slayer. I wonder if she's got a jar of flies and a fly swatter, and she shows off how many she can get in one fell swoop. On the other side, we have a never named Oni that Hopper suggested, but I don't know anything about Oni besides.
So yeah, that's actually it's
being
a Japanese.
an Oni.
It's a type of Japanese demon.
Right.
It's a fairly broad category, and I don't feel comfortable enough to specify.
So as their performance is going on, let's have a scene maybe between two of you on the Ever side or 2 of you on the Never side.
So I'm gonna say, picking up where we left off. So is there seating?
Yeah, I'm sure all of the top students are at the front. By the way, Milo, you're next.
So I think after this fairly dramatic flair early on in the show, Trip just kind of in his little just kind of trundled on down all the way to the front and just splooped next to Shinnok. And I don't know if he has the emotional intelligence to recognize that there's something wrong, but probably just basically immediately just kind of not invaded personal space, but was just I am here now. And does Shinnok react in any way to that?
Quite the entrance. I didn't know you had it in you.
Dean LaFay, she's a little bit of a task mistress. Seems to have some ideas about what she expects.
Is she, putting you up to no good?
Just general threats of malevolent and problematic punishment.
Oh, such as?
I don't think she's gonna like it very well if we disappoint her.
Well, then we'd better not disappoint her. Can't let those Evers win.
Nope.
At that point, the second duel is over, and one of the students is embarrassed and punished in front of everyone. Somehow. But then, Milo and Ewan, the red cap, are next, the 8th ranked students. Milo, you start us off as the Ever student.
Okay, so, how much, stuff can we just have, prepared for this?
You've had a month to, get ready, so I'm sure.
Okay. So, Milo gets up on stage, in front of everyone, stands very straight, does a very stiff bow, goes behind the curtain, and pulls out a small cart full of jagged pieces of wood, which he then places in the center of the stage, walks back behind the stage once again, wheels out a tall ladder, also made of wood, with a diving board on the top of it. He, once again, stands stiffly, bows, walks over, climbs the ladder. At the top of the ladder, he turns briefly and looks out over the assembled students, his eyes lighting on Elaine and Lulu.
They're watching you with intensity.
He sort of looks, I don't think most people can see his face in any detail at this distance. And he looks momentarily nervously between the two of them for a second, then marches to the end of the diving board, snaps his fingers, and his silvery blue finger glow pops into existence as all of the wood in the wagon ignites below the diving board.
Into fire?
Yes.
Ooh.
Lulu is visibly freaking out just a little bit.
He raises his other hand, snaps the second hand, and slowly, blooming outwards from his right leg, his boot and his tights and his jacket and his skin mogrify into tin. And now he is standing there, a tin-skinned boy at the top of this diving board over a huge pile of jagged, burning wood. And he bounces once on the board and dives directly into the flames.
Oh my god, people are like, is he gonna jump? Ah! Roll with purpose.
I think Shinnok looks over at Trip and says, well, that's quite the statement.
Well, folks,
Oh no!
we're looking at a 6 here.
No!
Oh, God!
So, I was thinking about our last conversation with Merlin. And that was your role to get into the circus. And you
Yes.
failed.
Yes.
You get to try harder.
Do you try harder?
Do I try harder? Meaning...
Your playbook move. It's triggered
sorry.
when you fail a roll, right?
Right, so when I fail... So when I screw... It's not when I fail a roll, it's when I screw up.
Huh. Okay.
I don't think I screwed up.
In that conversation with Merlin?
Unless we want to call the screw up taking away an intensely wrong idea
Yeah, no,
what
that
Merlin was suggesting.
was definitely the screw up. He said, open your heart, like, be in touch with, like, know what you're feeling, and I think there's a part of it.
Yes, and Milo took that as, show them what you're really made of. Literally.
So I'll definitely give you the +1 to this roll.
Okay, so I give myself an appropriate condition with that move, and I take the +1 forward.
Yeah.
I mean...
What's the set of 7
Like-
now?
Right, so that can bring this roll to a 7. What's Milo's condition from completely misinterpreting Merlin? Is it just, like, oblivious?
Oh no, it's dense.
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 Ah!
Dense! That's so good.
Right.
God, I'm giving this boy so many conditions. Okay, so with that +1 forward, that just squeaks it to a 7.
And you land. I think you're going to take 1 harm from the fall, but I don't think anyone's going to notice.
Oh, for sure. Like, Milo, I think this hurts. And quite frankly, he expected it to, but it's just sort of a, well, this is what I have to do to show them what I'm made of.
Damn.
And I think there's this moment when Milo crashes through the flaming scraps of wood. There's just this, burst of fire and sparks and embers.
Screams from
and then-
Evergirls.
And then just nothing. And then Milo rises out, the flames glinting off of his tin skin.
Fork, yeah, that's so badass.
That's so good.
And he stands stiffly in the center of the flames. And if you were to look at him closely, you could see him wince as he does it, stiffly bows once more, and marches off stage.
And the theater drizzles rain over the flames and kind of washes the stage clean for the next performance. But it takes a while, I think, for the students, both sides of the theater, to their applause to die down. It takes a little bit longer than the rest of the performances we've seen so far.
And I think I would like to have, very specifically, after this, Milo is nowhere to be seen.
Interesting.
Like, I've found some nook of the theater to place myself in, and I don't, return to the audience or anything.
Okay. This awesome bombastic performance, you've got a lot of conditions, so I wonder if I might clear one of them?
Alright, so
Certainly
the
not
condition
reckless.
the condition that it hits very hard is reckless.
You really leaned
Does this-
into that, though.
Does this incredibly reckless thing cure me of the recklessness? I don't know that it does. But perhaps I don't feel, now that I've accomplished this, quite so weak.
Oh, absolutely. Trip made you feel weak when he beat your butt. But you've proven yourself tough, at least
Yeah.
through magic.
Is that phrasing somehow worse?
Yes, but we're
Yes.
just gonna roll with it.
Okay.
He beat your butt. All right. Next up is Ewan, so I need someone to roll for her. Just a flat 2d6, if you will.
That's all of our shame, so...
She doesn't have
Do
a great talent, but it's hers, and she's going to try it either way. Shinnok, are you going to roll for us?
I can roll.
Please do, 2d6, just a flat check. She's wearing
Oh,
Oh no.
you guys want to see it, or should I just say it?
Just say it.
It's a 3.
Yay!
So yeah, she pulls off the red beret that she's wearing, standing in front of everyone, just kind of looks like wild, and she grins, and you can see these razor-sharp, pointy teeth, like, sticking out of her mouth. And then she sticks the cap into her mouth, and like a dog, like, starts growling and like ripping it back and forth. And you can see this black-red glow, like emanating, like a finger glow, but emanating from her mouth. And as she's stamping her feet, she begins spinning in circles, and jumps up and stops, rips the cap out of her mouth, and wrings it, and blood drips out of it and onto the floor. However, because of the roll, like it's like 4 drops, and then she's like, and like pushes harder, and she's like, no, oh god, Scottish accent. I promise there's usually a bit more from the. I swear, I'm usually better at this. And this bucket appears over her, and she looks up and just tips as blood, pig's blood specifically, pours
You
all
carried her.
over.
You!
And she just like, ah! And like kind of like walks off the stage. Probably one of her never friends comes over and like they don't have a towel, but they've got a spare cloak, and they're like trying to drop her off. 2 more students go after that. Anansiwa, prompted by Great Zamino again, the daughter of Anansi the spider. She's performing on the Ever side. And on the other side, we have someone named Grootslag? I'm not sure who that was supposed to be, Hopper.
Oh, that's not a name. That's a specific description.
Root?
Groot slang is a specific mythology from a variety, a mix of I want to say Northern African cultures, but don't quote me on that. I've had too much Sunkistum tequila.
Got it. It is Cinco de Mayo. I'm drinking a margarita.
I'm drinking Happy Little Accidents.
But after that is Elaine. And Fosse, also in your group 13 for Surviving Fairy Tales. And so Elaine goes first. And she gets on stage, and she looks nervous, but her eyes look to Lilu. She nods and lifts up onto her toes. And you can see one of her legs is paper thin. Legit, as she turns, you can see it's 2-dimensional, made almost entirely out of paper, but it's magical, so it's kind of its form almost blurs if you stare too hard. And she starts to spin, lifting up a leg in her ballerina outfit, and she twirls her paper leg, and it starts to glow with that soft pink magical light. As stirrings of a piano song fills the air, and shortly thereafter violins come in. She performs a short ballet routine to this. And as she does, she kicks up her leg and begins dancing up into the air over the stage, almost soaring like a swan at points over the auditorium. I need someone to roll for her. And she will get a +1 thanks to Lilu's string. Actually, Lilu, if you want to...
Sure.
I was gonna say, I feel like it's gotta be Lulu.
That's going to be an 8.
Nice. She comes down, and instead of the hooting and hollering and whooping that have been going on for some of the other talents, there's a odd applause and a respectful hush. And we're halfway, almost halfway through the talents, and I think the talents are getting more extreme.
We definitely get a glimpse of Milo, like, hiding behind a column, watching this. Very, his face just sort of filled with awe.
And she lands. And then after that is Fosse. He is dressed in a white suit that contrasts perfectly with his midnight black skin. And he steps onto the stage, and you can hear that he has taps on his shoes and a cane and a little tap hat as he steps onto the stage and begins doing a tap dance number. It's slow at first, almost as if he's thinking, like recognizing, oh, there are taps on my feet. I had no idea. And he's like, and he starts up these little rhythms and will stop and pose, and you can see his cane glows in a gray, shadowy, magical light, and there's almost like a flash from the chandelier as he's manipulating the lights in this room to help sort of give that Fosse effect as he freezes, and his silhouette appears behind him.
Yeah, does he have a hat? Is he gonna tilt it?
Like his namesake, yeah, exactly. Will someone roll for Fosse versus Elaine's talent?
I'll roll.
Thank you.
Or
all right, go for it,
David.
No, go for it.
That is. God. Okay, I can't roll anymore. That's a 6.
A 6. So, it's respectable, but after the master class performance Elaine just gave, everyone's like, whatever, boo, it's not as good. And what is the punishment?
It's the dancing shoes.
Oh no.
His taps begin to glow.
Also,
and heat up.
What's especially amazing about that, as I've just gotten into this book series, by which we are drawing our source material from, that's actually the first punishment the main characters endure.
Dancing in iron slippers, heated iron slippers. For Fosse, it's not so bad, but he's off in the corner, probably not on the same side as Milo, but off in the back, and someone has taken the golden pillows from the other side and thrown them across so that at least his taps won't, can be muffled. We've got, so now we're halfway through. And we see two more duels. In 5th place, we have Adara, the Valkyrie woman that we saw earlier, versus Cass, the giantess. I'm not sure what their talents are, and luckily it doesn't really matter.
But... Oh,
you've got ideas.
I have so many ideas.
I have a question. I have a string on Adara.
You do.
Would it be possible to pull that string to get her to throw her performance?
What does that look like? So Elaine and Fosse are doing their duel, and you go and talk to Adara real quick, like pull her over to your side of the aisle.
Mm-hmm.
So she comes over. I feel like, what's a Valkyrie's? Something with a flying horse, maybe, her talent? So she's holding a bridle in her hands, and she comes over and she's like, What? What is it? A lasso. She's doing a lassoing thing.
A few months back, we made an agreement. You owe me a favor, I think. And I was just thinking that I really want the Nevers to win. And I was just wondering if there was anything you could do to help out with that.
What are you insinuating?
Insinuating? I would never do anything like that.
A never from a never.
How very clever of you.
So clever from a never. Okay, I'm done.
I can see I'm not getting through to you. Let's just say I would like you to assist the Never. Who is she up against?
Cass, the giantess.
If you could, help Cass out. You know, little inter-school camaraderie.
She leans in, really close to the barrier. After this, we are through. You understand? I owe you nothing.
After this, I'll be watching.
And you use the string. So yeah, she tries to get, when she performs, she tries to get the lasso up, and it spins and then it drops, and then she's and nervous, and it spins and it drops again until it spins one last time and it comes down around her, and she pulls it on herself, and the circus punishes Adara for throwing the duel. Damn! I feel like if Shinnok wasn't the top-ranked Never, she would be now.
I really want to know what Adara's punishment is. The circus, the theater, is it punishing her for throwing the duel, or is it punishing her for losing?
It's punishing her for losing.
Oh, okay.
But I wonder if the punishment is somewhat karmic as well, in that regard.
Mm.
Her own rope ties her up.
Ooh.
And she rolls off of the stage. It's spending the rest of the evening laying at the foot of the stage.
I think Shinnok would walk over, right next to where she's laying by the foot of the stage. And she says, "That was an excellent performance. I wouldn't have known you were failing on purpose." And she's gonna stride away.
Curse you. Curse you. So, there is another...
but I have such good ideas.
There is another duel after that, so there is some time before Lilu and Fang go up.
So I'm just going to say, Cass, though, the giant, I don't think we specified which, because giants are super cool. I'm going to have a weird cryptid nerd moment. Giants are super cool because they exist in pretty much every single mythology of every single subculture and ethnicity and for the entirety of history. It's so awesome. Anyways.
We all seen a big dude.
Yeah, exactly. But also because there's reasons, there's valid reasons. Anyways, but bass harp. That's all I'm saying.
That was a roller coaster of a journey with that. I did not see that one.
Those are unconnected. That was just me being very excited, and then also bass harp.
I fully appreciate it, and I think Cass herself is a little surprised that. I mean, she's not surprised because of how bad Adara did, but I don't think she was expecting to win the duel with the bass harp.
Well, of course you should. I've
'Cause
never
it's
even seen one of those.
They're so insane. They are.
Everybody send me pictures of bass harps now.
But as Maribella and Gina are doing their duel, Lilu, you're next.
Yeah, she's like nervously, like kind of like bouncing up and down a little bit, like trying to get psyched up for this. Like not making eye contact with Fang if he's like trying to intimidate her from across the room.
He's not. He is on the other side of the room, close to where Trip and Shinnok are seated. He's standing there, and he's looking. He's got his hawk, his black hawk, on his armband, and they're looking into each other's eyes, and you can see him whispering to it silently. His bow and arrow on his back as well. And without even turning his head, he says to Shinnok, "Well, mistress, I've been practicing the showmanship skills you taught me."
I look forward to seeing them on the stage, Fang.
I hope to do you proud as the... he's third, but he's technically second in command next to the two of you. Command is such a strong word. I hope to prove you well as a potential lieutenant in the days to come.
I'm sure you will. And perhaps afterwards, after you've, won your duel, you could give us an encore in private.
And at that point, he turns his head and darts. Oh my god! It darts between the two of you, and maybe his cheeks get just a little bit red.
Oh, Fang.
So, Lilu, it's your time to take the stage.
Yeah, she does. She's visibly nervous. Probably not visible on the outside is that Lilu kind of wants this. It's like she was nervous about the trial. This whole year has kind of sucked. But this, what she's planned, she knows it's good. And she's ready to show people. She doesn't even care what they're saying about her. This is not for them.
Okay.
Does she have to go first as an ever? Is that the rule?
Yep.
All right. So she takes her sword out of the sheath and sort of assumes a fighting stance, but balances the blade point at the tip of her boot. And just is takes a breath, closes her eyes a bit, and then gives it the swiftest little kick. Her legs don't go up at all, but it's just this powerful tap as the sword spins upward. She was only holding on to the hilt loosely, and she catches it as she does a full body turn, and all around her suddenly this purple finger glow of hers just lights up through the pastel dress that she was wearing, and is flowing through her very wavy, curly, crazy hair that she purposefully let half down, and is now even coming more undone from the little band's flower petals that she had in her hair falling down around her. She is completely consumed in this purple light, and she starts this saber dance as she's moving the blade around in this very intricate dance, which I think Elaine helped her feel more graceful dancing. She's never felt graceful dancing. She's felt graceful fighting, and that's about it. She is turning, and there's a rhythm to the wind that's being created by this sword. And just when she demonstrated this a little bit in class, creating stories through the air with the purple magic around her, sort of like silhouetted, illuminated, like illustrations instead of text. Whereas before she was illustrating like little snippets of historical fairy tale figures that were fairly well known. It starts off with a girl clearly silhouetted in a windowsill with a book. And then as she passes by it again, she raises one arm and it just completely filters away into purple clouds. And she is like continuing on with this very intricate interpretive saber dance. The next thing is clearly illuminated moonlight, and the girl, like, there's like almost like a wolf pup, like clearly like howling into the moonlight. And she's illustrating her own story. This might be close to blasphemous because she's not illustrating her past after that moment. She starts illustrating a future that she's trying to envision, which I don't think is what you're encouraged to do. If you're waiting for the story and to write your own fairy tale, the next thing you see is like a woman with like flowing hair standing on the prow of a ship. You see somebody like looking into like these great libraries of books piled around them. You see the same silhouette of the same like very distinctive curly-haired woman standing with maybe like an ambiguously gendered partner, and clearly like sharing, like holding hands and like looking out into a vista. And then this same like vague silhouette is going with her through all of these adventures that she's just illustrating from all of the stories that she's ever read. And she bursts the final one. She just like breaks through the silhouetted woman's frame, and she's standing there, and the sword, she like tosses the sword once in the air and it lands point down perfectly in front of her feet.
Let's roll with purpose. Because that sounded lovely.
Wow.
And wonderful. But how did she really do?
Oh my god.
And do you have +1 to this?
I have so much to this because, as I said previously, I spent yesterday out in the woods where I was bathing in moonlight.
All right.
So not only do I have +1, I have +3.
Okay.
Well. So I have +4.
Okay.
So that is, math is hard for me. Give me 1 second. That's a 12.
A 12.
Come at me.
So, when you land with the sword pointed, there's silence.
She's like panting, and there's this clarity of purpose in her face that I don't think anyone's ever seen before.
And
I would like to stand up and start clapping. Like, very, very enthusiastically.
Like Shia LaBeouf in that one video.
Yes, yes.
I think Trip definitely cues off of Shinnok as well. And just kind of is like, oh, guess we're doing this.
Right. Some students in the crowd throw bits at us. Thank you very much.
Oh my god!
Great Samino and the Artistically Inclined, thank you for giving us bits. I wonder if, I feel like you're both Evers, who throw flowers out onto the stage as they land around Lilu.
Can confirm.
Wow.
Yeah, we definitely get another quick view of Milo in his hiding spot, and I think there's a very similar look on his face to when he was watching Elaine. That look of awe, but tinged with this kind of concern and anxiety.
So, Lilu, you take your leave of the stage?
Yeah. I think I see like that Shinnok and Chirp both like start the applause, and I like give like suddenly like a shy like little wave, like I see you even if I can't get all the way over there.
I can't believe I have to follow that with Fang. His talent.
I did ask if she had to go first.
She does. Those are the rules. His talent is simple. he kind of stands on stage and nods to everyone, and with a whistle, sets his hawk into the air, who flies around the room, and he throws apples up into the air and shoots them with his bow as the hawk like swoops down and catches each half of the apple, and kind of like dispersing it amongst the students. Excellent bowmanship, of course, but is it enough to really best what Lilu put on the stage? Maddie, go ahead and give us the role for him. Thank you, Ari Derps. I spent some time, curating the music for our stream, and I actually haven't pulled this song out, the one that was playing during our whole 6 weeks.
Did we tie? Say it. I'm so excited.
Oh, it's double ones.
Snake Eyes.
Oh,
Oh
Fang!
my god!
What's his punishment?
Oh, okay, either the apples just start appearing out of nowhere and like pelting him.
Oh,
Rotten apples, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
I think actually rotten apples appear in the hands of all of the students.
Oh no.
And tomatoes and lettuce.
Oh no.
You can hear Lilu say like, "Oh, stop it!"
But no never is gonna listen to that. Come on, you lost to her. And I think because of how beautiful that was and how all of the Ever students like rushed around you, Lilu, I think Adara comes to you and she's like hopping in the rope that has her tied up.
Oh no! Can I cut her out of it? Probably not.
If you do, you can.
I would.
And as you do, she says, "I'm sorry. I should have given you the benefit of the doubt. You can be trusted. Elaine has said a lot of good things about you."
Thanks.
And I think that's going to remove your untrustworthy condition.
Oh! Yay!
However, Trip is next. First, Trip follows Chanticleer in the second-ranked duels of the challenge. Trip, how are you feeling?
I think Trip's pretty odd. Overall, I think if an apple appeared in his hand, he just straight up did a squish with it. Just kind of, Fang belongs to us. He's one of us.
He's definitely not proud.
Not proud, but you roll with the punches.
You do.
I think Trip's Trip's worked himself into a little bit of a do or die attitude, and what's the worst? Maybe he'll die.
So Chanticleer gets on stage. I feel like after the food fight, everyone's a little raucous, but as soon as the stage magically clears of rotten refuse, Chanticleer kind of walks up and scratches the back of his neck, and when he looks up, he's looking at Lilu. And you can see a little hurt in his eyes from when you shut him down earlier.
No regrets.
And then, he gets a little awkward, and he, turns to the other side of the auditorium, and he's looking at Shinnok, who definitely has made him feel a lot in the past, especially during the trial by Tail.
I blow him a kiss.
I think so. Trip cues off of this and just kind of side eyes that and just goes, "Show us what you got, chicken boy."
So he kind of looks at you, and his he moves his finger, and it starts to glow bright yellow like sunlight. And I guess he just holds it in front of his mouth, and starts singing a cappella. It is a ballad about the lonely night and how his heart feels like it can't go on sometimes. And he's definitely talking about like missed opportunities and unrequited feelings. And at the end, like he looks up. He's like, his black hair is right here, and he kind of like looks up, like, and there's like a single tear, and he smiles. But the sun will come out tomorrow. And he sings. So we need someone from the Ever side to roll for this. Milo, can you roll for us?
Yeah.
Just straight 2d6, please.
All right. Let's see what happens to our boy. Well, we're looking at a 10 here.
Oh, he does really well. I mean, half of the people in the auditorium here have flooded the basement, as it were, as it may be said, because of just how like dreamy Chanticleer is during this performance. They're all like, definitely several Ever girls just kind of being like, like, you know.
E-bumpers.
Right.
Yeah, is his shirt with the suspenders just like a little bit open?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. And he's wearing
And like
full on Elvis.
maybe just one button pops open a little bit during the performance, just one extra one.
Well, during like a really heated part of the ballad, he like
Yeah.
opens up the next button because he just can't take it. And then he nods and he steps off the stage and makes way for Trip.
So I think Trip kind of stands up and just takes off this kind of light outer jacket that he's wearing, and just that same plain black light undershirt tee type thing, and just kind of walks up on stage and kind of very clearly not making eye contact with anybody or really looking around too much. Just sits down, crosses his legs, and just kind of gives like a little bit of a stretch, a little bit of a flex, just cracking all the joints, all the muscles, just just puts both hands, just slams both hands down against the I assume planking of this stage, and just doesn't really do anything visible for a second. So now the real question is, do y'all want me to describe first or roll first?
Describe.
So what Trip is going to try to do is starts drawing in all the heat that he possibly can. And I think that at first it's not especially noticeable. Then it's just like, oh, somebody, it's a little bit chilly. It's winter. Somebody must have left some drafts in. Then within another 30 seconds to 45 seconds, it's just like, darn, it's cold. It's like, it's a little bit chilly. And it's just going to keep drawing that in for probably like about 2 or 3 minutes. Don't see anything. You just see, like, if people are aware enough to notice the shift in temperature, they might notice that. And then eventually you just see him kind of like give a little shake and just lift one big hand and just smash it against the stage again, and ice is just going to spread out from where he hits, and then lifts the other hand and just smashes against the stage, and ice is going to spread out, and you just start seeing frost web and form across the stage, and slowly it begins to form a 3-dimensional shape, these fractals kind of combining and growing, becomes this a pine forest. Just this valley starts to form, just full of pines, just kind of lit by this eerie light refracted off of this ice that's beginning to kind of gain a life of its own.
Roll with purpose.
Yeah,
You got this. You got this.
definitely not my worst stat. Wow. Well, that sucked.
Oh no!
That's a 7 minus 1.
No.
So-
A 6.
Yeah, that's a 6.
Tell us how your talent and your spell fails.
I think it may be a little bit bold of me, but I'm gonna say that can't stop it once it started, and it starts to get colder and colder, and starts to grow outside of his control, and
I see
you
it
see
reaching up the walls and like the ceiling.
starts to spread. Like I think maybe like this crescent moon forms like in the background, and you just start to see like you see Trip steam like from what's going on.
Students might scream in terror or pain if their teeth weren't chattering so much.
And he's kind of starts to seem, you see like him break a little bit. He loses his grip of what's going on, and he's just kind of like starts to try to move, and it's just not able to stop it.
And as the ice creaks over the chandelier, we see the first mote of frost form over the crown, floating over the stage. And as soon as it touches that, there's a flash as all of the ice in the chamber shatters. And when everyone like brings their eyes up, they see Trip encased in ice, completely, head to toe.
I have to look something up because there's a chance that given my intimacy move, I can feel that happening to myself as well, figuratively.
As you look it up, Shinnok and Milo, how do you react?
I mean, Milo is just looking on in shock from the side behind that column where he's decided to hide. He really doesn't know what to think. There I think is, if he were a worse person, like there would be, I think, a sense of satisfaction at seeing Trip fail, but Milo has complicated feelings about Trip. Like, Trip beat the crap out of him, but also kind of set him on the right path. And
He stopped him from leaving.
yeah.
And Shinnok?
I feel like this settles the score. And she doesn't move a muscle. And I feel like the Nevers, once this happens to Trip, and, there's this ripple of shock that runs through everybody, I assume.
They're recovering from near frostbite themselves.
I mean, Trip and Shinnok are kind of like, they're 1 and 2, right? I feel like she feels the eyes of all of the Nevers on her.
Totally.
And she does not move a muscle. Just
Farkas
looks.
walks up onto the stage. Real quick before he does that, Lilu.
So what it is I get a +1 to defend them, but I establish a deep spiritual connection. That is what they gave.
So,
but I think it's entirely likely that Lilu starts trying to chip the ice off of you.
So you jump onto stage to
Oh,
start.
is he stuck on the stage?
Yeah.
Oh, then she can't.
I will, in that case, Farkas will step on stage, and he walks up and with a single meaty hand shoves the ice block that is Trip, and it goes sliding through the blue curtains and into the backstage and hits the back wall. There's like a thud as the ice hits it, and Farkas turns and like kind of shrugs. I don't know what Farkas's talent is.
Being horrible.
I feel like he is a person who thinks that him himself is a talent. Like he is nothing but talent.
My sword says differently.
It does.
What if he? Oh, we're not supposed to curse on this. He's such a self-centered piece of garbage. What if he also does a swordplay thing?
Oh,
Oh,
no!
oh no!
we
I
lost
think
Maddie.
We must have had an internet surge of some kind. I guess.
Dear viewers, I'm going to take us, before we get to our final dead duel, I'm going to take us to break so we can deal with this. We will be right back, everyone. Okay, and we're back, everyone. Thank you for staying tuned despite our technical difficulties. We were overdue for a break anyway, so it was that's the word. What's the word? Not coincidence.
Dramatically appropriate.
Yes,
Yeah,
dramatically
definitely.
appropriate.
There you go.
Amping up tension, which
Yeah.
will totally pay off.
It'll totally pay off because
It'll
Farkas,
totally pay off.
he's on stage now and he's like looking out at everyone. And I think he lets out. Yes. He pulls his long sword and holds it in front of him. And he focuses on it. And there's like a low rumble coming from somewhere. Like a car revving up or a dog, a beast growling. And it's coming from him. Serendipitous is the word, Ari. Thank you. The margarita train is perfect. I love it. Thanks for hanging out with us, y'all.
Yeah.
So Farkas, the short, blonde, dumb dude, as he's looking at his sword, his golden finger glow starts to light it up, and the growl from within him turns into a long yell. As the sword erupts in like golden flames and light, and the golden light lights up his hair actually, and he attempts to go Super Saiyan.
He's going super
Oh,
Saiyan.
God.
It's over now.
Ah!
Over!
I need.
I don't have enough party juice for this, Chris.
I need someone to roll for him, and I think it should be one of our Ever students.
Yeah. Roll this one as well.
Yeah, do it.
All right. I hate this boy, and I hope he does bad. Yeah. 7.
7. It is enough for a slight success. It definitely doesn't last as long as he'd like, and he doesn't hit the super level. Is that where your hair turns white or something? And he-
Yeah. What? Like,
It takes 7 more
Chris,
episodes and we
roughly,
don't
what
have
would
the
you say
time.
his power level is?
Somewhere in the well, it could be over 9,000.
There
Yeah,
you go.
it could be.
Listen, on a 7, that's under 9,000.
Yeah, so it's probably closer to 7,000. And as he powers down, the tip of his sword just wilts.
It happens to everybody.
It's nothing to be ashamed of.
And he like pokes up his chest and stalks off stage. And so our final student
Oh
is set
god,
to
I'm
perform.
actually so nervous. So before I perform, I actually have a question. So
Thanks for the
how-
bits, artistically inclined. You've given us several tonight, and I thank you.
how I guess so I kind of want Shinnok to have in the past month have been going around and collecting hot goss on students, both ever and never. Can I just run with that?
I feel like we need to start with the roll
Right.
to see how accurate your goss is and how cutting it is. Because I feel like that's what we're really going for.
How strong is this tea?
Okay.
So you'll be rolling with purpose.
Purpose?
Yeah, you'll be using your magic to...
Oh god.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Cause
Anybody got a string
So-
that they want to give to Shinnok?
I mean, here's something. So I don't know how we want to construct this, but you can add +1 to your roll against someone when you spend a string on them. If you're dishing goss about everyone, is this roll against a bunch of people who you might potentially have strings on?
I wish I feel like, so looking back at all the strings I have a string on I know I have a string on Milo. I'm pretty sure I have a string on Trip. And I've marked down that I have a string on Chanticleer. I know I used one, but it looks like I have another one.
I think that's
And
right.
And I have a string on Fang.
Okay.
All the poultry related.
But yeah, if you roll well, I'm more than happy to let you just improv it and make it canon.
So, I guess I have a speech, but I think the hot goss would be a good addition. Okay. So I would be pulling strings on Milo, Trip, Chanticleer, and oh yeah, and Fang. I was thinking if I wanted to pull it, but I do.
So what, you're adding +4 to this roll?
Well, +5 if we're rolling with purpose.
Seems like a lot. But you are
It
spending
does.
4 strings.
To be fair, I rolled with a +4 given my abilities and my thing.
Okay, and so you've been collecting strings for the past 6 weeks. You should be allowed to use those resources at the end of the season. How do we all feel about that?
I'm comfortable with that.
I mean, also, furthermore, I would like to add, as a point of order, like, screw Farkas.
Yeah, I feel like
Screw that guy.
Okay, so
Yeah.
+5 to the Shinnok.
Okay, watch it. Okay, I've been rolling like crap all night, so like, watch me get snake eyes.
I believe in you.
The worst you can do is tie.
You can't fail.
The
Oh, God.
mathematically worst you can do is tie.
Let him go!
Okay, that is holy shit.
Shorts.
It's holy short. It's a 6 and a 5.
That's a 16.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Hell yeah, that goss is scalding.
That's the highest roll we've seen all night.
Yep.
I think that's the highest roll we've seen in this game.
Yeah, period.
Like,
you should not be able to get a 16 in a Powered by the Apocalypse game under normal circumstances. It's very, 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 very hard.
I'm willing to say, like, I don't know. Like, I feel I do want to pull all the strings, but also, like, I don't know. I don't want to, like, I don't know.
Pull them.
Okay, all right,
and
okay.
Rip
all
those
right,
4 people to shreds.
Okay.
And win the crown.
So, Shinnok is going to stand up and walk on stage without, saying anything, very expressionless. And she there's no microphone, just addressing the, audience, I guess. So I'm pulling one. I'm just writing down who I'm pulling strings on so I can incorporate that thing. And Chanticleer. Okay. She clears her throat and stands up straight and takes a deep breath and says, "My fellow students, evers, nevers, good, evil, you all know who you are. We know who we are. The evil attack. The good defend. The evil punish. The good forgive." And she starts pacing back and forth. "The evil hurt. The good help. The evil take." And she looks towards Farkas, and sort of is scanning the crowd. "The good give. The evil hate." And she looks, I think, at Lilu and says, "The good love." But how good is good, really? How evil is evil? Are we really so different? Take my good friend Lilu, for example, an Ever, the child of one of the greatest, most famous, hero couple in history, in fairy tale history. For the majority of this semester, you Evers have mocked her, shunned her, called her untrustworthy. Farkas, and, Scoon, Chanticleer, well, I guess it was just Farkas, tried to duel her against her wishes, repeatedly, angrily, violently. The evil attack. The good defend. Farkas attacked. And what did Chanticleer do? He stood there and watched. He let it happen.
Oh, the other side are like, huh? What? Farkas, he's supposed to be the most good. Hype train! Woo! Choo
Yeah, hype
train!
I don't know
We've
what
hit
this
a
is,
hype
but I'm
train.
very excited.
The crowd, the audience is murmuring. Clearly, they've been moved by your speech, Shinnok. If you haven't been on a hype train before, you can throw bits into the hype train to keep things going. In chat, there should be a button. I think everyone starts off
It's at
with some...
69%.
Ooh, very nice. The higher we get that hype train level, the more hype train emotes we unlock individually. But you gotta pitch in bits or gift subs to get said emotes. So go ahead and throw those in, everybody, as Shinnok takes us away. I need to find some awesome building music for you.
On the other side of the aisle, we have Trip. I'm sure you all know him. Oh man, Trip is gonna hate me so much for this, but he can't hear me, so it's fine.
Chris, can Trip hear through the ice?
You can.
Oh, shit. Trip, you have told Shinnok your past.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Take Trip, for example. The child of the wolf and the red. Caught between good and evil. A gray area. Good and evil existing together. A living contradiction of the system we all support. I know some of you hold this system dear. You really believe in it. People like my friend Milo, a stalwart supporter of following the rules, doing what you're supposed to do. But the evil hurt. Milo is just as capable of hurting a friend as a Never is.
Oh my god, Shinnok!
Honey, no, don't.
The strict adherence to one's duty can push away your friends as easily as a punch might. You might think you're acting the way you're supposed to, but you get so lost in it that you don't see how much you're hurting your friends. And Fang. The son of what? Shan Kier? Shar Khan? I can't. What's the this is out of character, sorry. What's the guy's name? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm forgetting this. Oh, okay. Whatever.
I knew this today before way too much
That's true.
Mexican party juice.
Okay, it's fine. The son of insert name here.
Hype train level 2 complete!
People are freaking out! They're freaking out!
Everyone in the crowd at this point, you're dropping bombs. Literal bombs, and as you say these things... What color is your finger glow?
It is yellow-green.
So there's a yellow-green mist almost dropping from your mouth and hitting the ground and crawling up. Intertwining itself amongst the feet of the students on both sides of the aisle. Take us home.
Fang has been a loyal friend to me.
Nevers are laughing.
Oh, and don't think I don't see you, Nevers. Laughing. I'd like to remind you who exactly won the trial by tale for you. Who exactly will win the crown of talents for you. You can laugh, you can jeer, but just because good isn't good doesn't mean you aren't evil.
Fork.
But I think what makes you really bad, Nevers, is that you're stupid. You are so obsessed with power and winning and just cruelty for the sake of being cruel that this is why we lose. This is why Nevers lose. Cruelty, like anything else, is a tool to be used. I can't pretend to like Evers. There are a few of them I do like. There are a few of them who I think are truly good. But at least they try to disguise the cruelty, the vile hatred that lives in their hearts. You all? You disgust me. Truly.
And the mist has filled the room. It's so subtle, only the most keen of the students in the room can tell that you've actually cast magic. Convincing the students of the schools for evil and good that there is no real evil and good, and that the only difference between them is what side of the aisle they're on. And the crown floats down and sits on your head, Chinook. And the doors fling open. And Dean Morgan Le Fay strides in. Ah! Wonderful! Wonderful! I knew you could do it, my dear. Dean Merlin comes in and he nods. I hope you all had an excellent time. And there's a shattering sound from backstage as ice flings through the curtains and onto the stage behind you, Shinnok, like maybe hitting your back a little bit. And Trip has unleashed his darkest self when he is unleashed from the ice. Trip, what is your darkest self?
My darkest self is... It's pretty gosh darn angsty. So, these curtains, are they still there?
Yep.
Yeah, they're on fire now. So probably as you hear this ice shatter, like a little bit splattering out from the darkness behind you, I would say, in general, there's probably a pretty strong smell of brimstone, and you hear like kind of just thumping and writhing, and pretty soon there's like a light, a little bit of a catch on the edge of these velvet curtains. I imagine that the School for Evil and Good doesn't have modern fire safety protections in place.
They have magical fire safety protections in place.
Yeah, but how do those handle against magical fire?
Well enough.
Magically.
Magically.
As they do.
light is definitely like kind of crackling behind that, and there's kind of a there's just hurt animal noises coming from behind there, just like noises, and kind of the sounds of thrashing.
I want to make a break for it.
Yeah, I think the curtains catch on fire. Shinnok, you are in direct harm's way. So I need you to make a check to run away. Roll with volatile.
Oh, nope, that's not very good. That's gonna be a 7.
Okay, you get away. Choose one. You run into something worse, you cause a big scene, or you leave something behind.
What would be something worse? Oh.
I mean, you just made a lot of enemies.
That's true.
I just make a lot of enemies. She could run and drop the crown on the floor.
As you start running
That would
away,
be appropriate.
it feels
Pretty cowardly. God, I hate her.
I'm sure you bump into people as the theater itself erupts into chaos. The fire is quickly spreading with magical, unnatural speed, rather. And we see Shinnok bump into someone, and the crown just falls and rolls to the foot of the stage.
Lilu knows Trip's behind there. She's gonna go towards. I don't think she knows what's going on. She's just hearing sounds and knows that you're stuck back there. And her friend is stuck back there where the immediate danger is, and she's gonna go towards it.
Okay. So when Lilu rips back the curtains, what does she see?
She sees about a 5 foot tall, just chunky pitbull kind of like figure, just kind of thrashing around on the ground, and there's just heat radiating off this creature, and just snarling as the last of this ice dissipates into steam, and just growls. Just like this is the like the fur is just kind of this dark black tinged with like the very tips tinged with gray, and just burning red eyes.
I think seeing the ice melt off of this exact creature and knowing what a curse she kind of has, and not seeing Trip's body anywhere. GM, I will obviously leave this up to you to decide if
She's
this
a very
is a fair
smart
assumption.
person. Yes.
She like comes in with like ready to like fend off a monster, and then sees this and just this Trip.
So fun story. I'm just gonna go ahead and reread the
Please do.
Cerberus Darkest Self.
Yes.
Because it's so very good. You do your best to be a good boy, but you come from a very bad place. Let's face it, you're a mangy, unlovable beast from hell. You are born to snarl and to bite. Anyone who's gotten close to you needs to be driven away, violently, if necessary. You must return to the shadows, dragging the damned back down there with you. You escape your darkest self when disrupted by a virtuous hero, or when the power of true love tempers your resolve. So basically, the instant that Trip sees anybody, it's going to be to immediately lash out.
Oh, really?
Boy.
Oop, the music.
Yep.
I was taking the music in the wrong direction.
Oh my god. I got the shakes.
Okay, lash out, roll with volatile.
Wow, that sucked. Or that's great. alternately. That's a 5.
Okay. So Lilu, he lashes out and fails.
This is interesting. I have a one
I level up.
forward to defend you.
Ooh.
I don't think she attacks, but she braces. Like maybe if you're lunging at her, maybe tries to get like the hilt of the sword, like maybe against your jaws to like stop you from biting down. I don't know what the roll for that one would be necessarily.
I imagine you see like kind of a scramble as
Yeah.
this creature kind of rights itself and
Trip. If that's stop. It's me. I don't know what's going on, but come on, you know me.
Yeah, all you get is just this, and as this creature lunges forward and just snaps like extremely close to you.
Which is definitely when Milo jumps onto the stage from behind the column.
Oh no.
And I mean, we're armed most of the time, right? I could easily lay hands on a sword. So Milo will leap in, brandishing blade at Trip, who he has no idea is Trip, shouting, "Princess Lilu, I'm here!"
Do you
And
lash out?
swing at the beast.
No!
Yeah, lash out physically. Oh my god!
Oh boy. Plus, this is volatile, right?
So I'm just gonna.
It's gonna be a 14.
Oh my god!
Okay. Okay. You do very well. Well, geez, 10 up, you deal them harm, and Trip chokes up, chokes up momentarily before they can react.
No, stop it! It's Trip!
What? This is some sort of terrible bit. What are you saying?
I'm gonna try to grapple like Trip's like held dog form and like kind of roll him out of the way of Milo. If like you were already I pictured it as like you had kind of tackled me and I was like fending you off, but I'm kind of half on the floor.
I mean, I'm like, Milo knows that you are more capable than him as a fighter, so he's like, yes, I'm gonna jump in shoulder to shoulder with Lulu.
I think Trip was totally blindsided by your attack.
Oh, very much so. I think like Trip is full on just lashing out at everything and anything around.
Stop, please. Like she's holding on to you. Are you burning?
Very hot.
I mean, she's still got like she's gonna light up like her purple magic to try and like alleviate some of this damage, but is almost certainly gonna take some. I don't think there's a way to not take harm from this, but she's like trying to grapple you and defend you at the same time.
I feel like let's roll with purpose and see if this is enough to maybe help Trip feel
I can do you
loved?
one better than that. I have a string. And I think she starts like talking to me like, Trip, come on. I know what this is like. But you're better than this. Come on. Please. You're my friend. Don't do this.
So you're going to take +1 to defend him. Oh no, what is it? What did you roll?
I got a +1 to defend him.
Mm-hmm.
And is there another +1 on top of that, or is it just the +1?
You're using the string to tempt him to do what you want, so if he does that, then he'll get experience as well. But I think it's just the +1 to defending, plus
10.
your 10. Oh, it works perfectly. Trip, she's begging you.
So, yeah, there's like a lot of Trip there, but there ain't that much of Trip there. I think, what is the negative outcome for denying a string? Jeez, string.
Is there one I just don't think you take the experience.
You just don't get the experience.
Yeah, I don't think Trip isn't there consciously enough. This is he's just in full fight or flight mode. I think there's the combination of like the interior Cerberus just kind of pouring out, but also like this is exactly the thing this is the thing that he's the most terrified of. This is the thing that he's scared of. This is the thing he's most ashamed of. It's just himself.
She's just going to keep talking to you whether or not you do what she wants you to do, even though it's not technically like she's just trying to get you to calm down. But she's just like, I know, like you can see in her eyes, and maybe you've never been this close to her before. She has wolf eyes. They're always golden, but when she gets agitated, they specifically in my loadout here, it does say that I have wolf eyes.
Nice.
So wolf eyes look into like hellhound eyes. Like we got like a little red and gold action going on, and she's just like, I know what curses can do. I know what all of this can do, but you don't have to give in. You don't have to be a villain if you don't want to be. Everybody has a choice. And I choose you as my friend, and I'm not leaving here until we both walk out of here together.
So, how does this interplay with Milo's action?
Yeah.
GM.
So we're gonna make a call. Milo's injured you. You've taken 1 harm from his attack.
Yeah, like I definitely slashed you.
Right.
Yeah, also, on a side note, how much harm am I taking right now, grappling?
None. Your purple glow is
okay. Nice.
protecting you, and so we can see the purple like fighting off the fire. But Lilu is here trying to get through to you, Trip, and a part of you seems like you're choosing not to listen.
I think, well, there's a combination of lack of cope.
I think you're about to run away. And if you can't keep your cool, you might hurt your friend by doing that. This is exactly what you're afraid of. Someone seeing you. And right now your fear is just telling you to fight, which failed. So all you have left is flight.
Yeah, that tracks. That actually tracks. I think, especially busting out onto stage, that all of a sudden, like, again, that renewed concept of everybody around you is a threat.
Right.
Everybody is a threat. And then now that you're hurting the person that you care about, you're hurting your friend. You've like Milo's. That's a whole load of conflicted feelings. I would say what is going on in the audience right now?
Most of them are running out. The theater is on fire, and no one else has noticed what's going on backstage just yet.
All right.
But yeah, roll with.
So this is cold.
Roll with cold to stay present or run away.
That is 5 plus 2, so 7.
7. Like I said, if you run away, I think it's gonna break your bond with Lilu.
So here's the fun thing. I don't think that's Trip's immediate reaction. I think Trip's immediate reaction is this unresolved issue with Milo. I think Trip is gonna turn, spin, and snap at this person who just smells like what killed his daddy. Like that killed his. You're why I don't have family. Like that's what you smell like. You smell like why I'm alone.
But if you lash out at him, you'll be acting because of the fear, not despite it.
Oh, for sure. Like this is about like this is past logic. Like Darkest Self is
all right, lash
let's
out
face
then.
it, I'm a mangy, unlovable beast that doesn't deserve anything.
And Milo at this point is, I think, shouting. I don't think either of the two of you really hear it, you know? It's sort of, it's in the background. It's like just sort of like it's coming from underwater almost. But Milo is shouting, "Lilu, Princess Lilu! It's not Trip! Get back from that thing!"
I think so. As after having slashed, I kind of imagine Milo slashed with this saber across the back of, like, across kind of like the back ribs down into the short ribs, the flank. It's probably a pretty nasty little injury. And at this point, I kind of haven't been shocked and startled by this eye contact and this, like, the immediacy, and just like there's a lot going on there, and it's scary and it's hard to deal with, and it's just, yeah, that's too much. Trip is gonna kind of spring, whirl, turn, and just deal with this threat, which is, it just smells like something that he hates. And as so at from
You have
out
to
like
break out of my little grapple, but I think that roll already took care
oh
of
yeah, that was a really good roll too, by the way. So I have +1 to volatile. That's a total of 10.
Okay.
Yep.
So I imagine there's just kind of like this kind of crouching, coiled tension, and just kind of push back and immediately spring into attacking Milo. Just so like you probably see like there's probably like, I think Trip just kind of howls at you, like just full of just rage and pain, and just there's heat to it too. You can feel that there's just heat coming from inside him, and just so much energy with nowhere to go. And as he lunges at you,
Milo, you take harm and you're stunned by this attack.
Hey.
There's definitely this moment where Milo's like, "All right, I'm ready for this." Sort of tightens his grip on the sword, and I think somewhere in the middle of your leap, Trip, is where he realizes he's not ready for this, and bam! You take him down to the boards.
like, I imagine this is just like a full, just flattened, just like Looney Tunes style. Like 1 second you're up and you're feeling good, and then the next second, as Trip is lunging at you, you're just like, oh. And as you slam into the stage, the stink of brimstone and just the heat just kind of washing over you.
Lilu, you're on the ground where Trip just wrestled out of your arms, and you see him crash into Milo.
Good question, because I was about to ask you something that could blow this whole thing up.
Okay.
Sir.
Even more?
Maybe? I know that that's my friend. Milo's denied it. I know what it's like to think that you might be a monster. I am watching him attack my other friend / crush that she's still trying to work through, and also she shared a moment with Trip. I think this is a lot. She used so much of all of her like emotional energy during her performance, and there's also this hint of disappointment that she was having with Shinnok for airing all of the secrets that people trusted her with, that she was already mad about a little bit on the sidelines. And I think she's on the ground already, slightly like hunched over. I think there might be a werewolf hellhound bite about to unleash if she can't keep her cool.
All right.
Right.
Roll to
Right.
keep your cool.
Right.
Thank you for making that noise so I didn't have to.
Had to happen sometime. That's a 6.
So the fear takes
so.
control.
Yeah, I'm losing my friend. My friends are attacking each other. People that I was trusting are using it to manipulate other people. I just want, like, one thing to go right, and I believe that these people can be good and are good. They just need to see it for themselves, and I think she sees, like, the hurt that's, like, radiating off of you thanks to our bond, which is, like, fraying around, but she can still sense it, and there's just, like, this like from her like backstage, you just hear like this ear-splitting howl as that flowery maideny dress like rips off of her, and the beast comes out, and she like runs in front between you and Milo and is like staring at you now with those wolf eyes that are now completely wild, and just goes like, in that she still has some cognizance over herself due to her like the uniqueness of her curse, and is just like eyeing Trip, just like, I said I wasn't leaving you.
There's a crack and a bang, and a white soft light emanates over the three of you. And Merlin is standing there with the curtains pulled back, just hanging on the ground in ashes, the theater emptied. And the three of you feel nothing, a numbness, a calm, but not peace, the absence of emotion, just wrenched from you. Enough, Merlin says. And the camera fades to black. What about that hype train, everyone?
Stare into the void for a second there.
It was a great hype train, I thought.
Freaking
yeah,
yikes.
Hype train. Good.
Love the hype train.
Love
A+
it.
hype train. On board the hype train.
The camera opens on the School for Evil, the castle for the School for Evil. Ooh. Shinnok, you are checking out the decorations in the grand hall inside your castle for the winter ball this evening. What does everything look like? How's it decorated?
It is so classy. I think that we're getting lots of spiky decorations. This ballroom has been completely glamored to look like, I think, almost like the inside of a crystal cave. The floor is smooth, black, glittering glass, and the walls and ceiling are made up of this black basalt volcanic rock. And magical lights, I think, are guttering in basins? Yeah. Along the walls, in purple and red, kind of like Hopper's room.
Ooh, I like that.
And there is, there's tables like laden with food and punch, with these like gorgeous silk black tablecloths. And then of course like a dance area. I'm trying really hard to remember my high school prom.
It looks a lot better than that, probably.
Definitely. It definitely looks a lot better than that.
We're in a fairy tale castle for villains.
And there are no windows, but it's very cool. And the acoustics are fantastic, of course.
You hear heels clicking in these fantastic acoustics, and Gina, the green-skinned witch of Skund, is approaching you. She competed yesterday in the Circus of Talents as well. We skipped over her duel.
Did you win?
I don't know. She was going up against Maribella, the great niece of Sleeping Beauty.
If my role is canon, then she did very well.
She probably did.
Because that's an 11.
Right. So she probably won. Some flashy magics. I don't think Maribella. I think I wanted her to do like a Jigglypuff thing. Right. But she put everyone to sleep.
I rolled a 5, so it sucked.
Yep. It was so boring. She put everyone to sleep. She's there holding a small black silk purse and a simple black dress, very witchy, but definitely cocktaily, if you will. Chinook, hi.
Gina, a pleasure.
Is it?
Yes.
Well, I'd like it to be. I wanted to congratulate you on your win yesterday.
Thank you.
I thought you might be missing this. And she reaches into the purse, which is much too small, and pulls out the crown of talents. And she's just like holding it on her finger in front of you.
Must have fallen off my head in the chaos.
I mean, what even happened?
You know, I'm really not sure.
Maybe someone didn't like all of that stuff you were saying. I loved it.
Well, I'm glad someone did.
She offers the crown to you.
I take it, and I stare into her eyes.
Right when you take it, she pulls it back, just out of hand's reach. I thought that maybe I would be currying favor by returning this to our precious captain.
Biscuit.
You know, I really couldn't care less about that crown.
She's a little surprised.
And I couldn't care less about the powers that either want or don't want it on my head. If you're really looking for a way to curry favor with me, I've been looking for a date to the ball.
Are you asking me?
Yes, I am. Your dress is beautiful, by the way.
I was going to have you roll to shut her down. Chinook is just so confusing.
I know.
I know. It's a shutdown roll.
I'll do either.
I mean, you want her to do something for you.
I do. Give and take, baby. You know, always trying to get those strings.
I know. I feel like you're shutting her down. I don't think she's feeling turned on by this. She thought she was coming in within the position of power, and you're trying to flip it on her.
Full disclosure, I definitely thought that Gina was gonna ask me out. So I assume Shinnok did too.
Roll with cold. Let's see how.
Oh, not good. Nope.
We'll see how you come across. It is a shutdown. Like you're like, honey, no, don't play this game.
That is a 7 minus 1, so 6.
Sorry, I'm
Level
not...
up.
Oh!
Also, yes, that was like, this has been the worst stretch for Nevers this entire season. Like, I leveled up during the stretch.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
but like, I rolled so bad so many
But at
times.
what cost?
At what cost?
So
Indeed.
she just laughs when you ask her to be her date, and she literally throws the crown into your hand. Sorry, I'm not interested in pursuing anything like that. You may not want it, but I do want power. I have ambition, Shinnok. And even though you seem to have tripped your way into being the most powerful person in our school, I'll find a way to best you.
I look forward to it, truly.
She turns, stalks off. We've got 20 minutes left in our stream. Probably another 15 minutes of roleplay.
Wow.
The ball begins. All of the Never professors are there, heartily congratulating Shinnok on her win, telling her how wonderful she looks in her crown.
Shinnok hates herself so much right now. So much. I just can't even express how much she truly hates herself right now. And she's going along with it.
Smiling on the outside, faking it.
Fake it till you make it, baby.
Right.
But I think there is that little voice in her head saying, "You deserve this.
You deserve it.
Deserve it."
The Theater of Tales, by the way, has officially moved schools. It magically teleported to the other side of the lake. And so through the entrance to the Theater of Tales comes Dean Merlin, followed by the Ever students who decided to attend the Never Winter Ball. It's optional, and so not everyone is coming because, I leave it to... Well, honestly, I feel like most Evers are probably like, I can't believe it. The Nevers have no taste whatsoever, but... after what just happened last night, I'm sure a few of them are like, well, Shinnok, she just has such great taste. We should at least go and see how she decides to decorate the space, you know.
And who else is throwing a ball right now, anyway?
Yeah, honestly.
A lot of the Ever girls need to practice their ball etiquette, and they've had gowns that they've had picked out for months, so they've got to show it off.
You're just supposed to throw all that away?
Right. Milo, where are you?
Yeah. So we see Milo enter through the doors. I'm imagining is this a situation where couples enter one by one, or is it just sort of a free for all?
It's like they're intermingling. Like there's probably already some dancing happening with some Never students, head banging. I'm sure a mosh pit will form very shortly.
Yes. Now we're talking.
Milo enters through the doors, dressed in an impeccable dress uniform, of course, white gloves, the whole thing, and he is arm in arm. I'm spending a string with Elaine.
I was just so moved by how strong and durable your talent showed you to be.
Well, thank you, Miss Elaine. I much appreciate it. It was very kind of you to agree to accompany me to this.
Milo, I was so glad when you asked me. It was kind of you to even bother to remember me.
Well, Miss Elaine,
And Milo sort of looks over at her, and not at her eyes. He looks down to her leg, her paper leg, and he says, "Well, Miss Elaine, I could hardly forget you. Well, you're a truly singular person, Miss Elaine."
Let's get some punch.
Yes, let's get some punch.
As
I think. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Oh, I think though, as we see them moving across the floor of the ballroom to the punch table, Milo's gaze is drifting around. He's distracted. He's not really focused on his date. He's looking for someone.
she's pouring the punch, and as she hands you your cup, she's holding hers in between her hands, and she's wearing a beautiful pink lace ball gown that comes out like several feet around her, maybe. Milo, I just feel so bad. During the trial, I promised to be by your side, and I have failed to uphold that promise.
Oh, well, Miss Elaine, I don't feel that way at all.
It's just afterwards, in the infirmary, I heard you and Lilu speaking.
And Milo has been reaching for the punch, and as she says that, he knocks the glass in his attempt to grasp it, and some of the punch spills out onto his nice, pristine white glove.
Oh no! And she like reaches for some black napkins.
Oh, no,
and starts dabbing.
Miss Elaine, you,
Maybe they have seltzer.
yes, well, if you can take care of that momentarily, but, I'm sorry, you heard Princess Lulu and myself in the infirmary.
I was jealous. There's no way I could compete with a real princess. But Lilu's so nice, and, well, then you asked me to the ball.
Well, Miss Elaine, truth be told, I've made rather mess of things with Her Highness.
Lilu's good. That's why she's the best in our class. She'll forgive you.
Oh, well, I wouldn't be so sure about that. I'm not certain I have any right to be forgiven.
Of course you do. And she gives you a kiss on the cheek.
Milo goes beet red.
That might actually turn her on.
I'll roll it.
She thinks it's adorable.
Hot, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a 9.
Whoa! On a 9. What does she think? I mean, I could just give you a string, but I wonder what she thinks you want. And she,
What does she think Milo wants?
I think she, like, pulls herself up, like, takes a breath and pulls herself up, and she says, I've always wanted to dance like a princess at a ball.
Well, Miss Elaine, I suppose I shall endeavor my level best to grant your wish.
She nods. Go ahead and take a string on her anyway. And she takes your hand.
All right, we're back into strings for Elaine.
Yep, might as well keep it for next season.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Lilu,
Yeah.
where is she?
I have a question for Hopper. Where is Trip?
Trip is not at the ball.
Where is he?
Trip is in the clearing where everybody eats lunch. just kind of sitting against a tree, just staring into the woods.
You hear a voice from behind you. You know you have to go inside at some point. And you turn around, and you see Lilu. The only thing that's going through my head is like the finale of Grease right now, where like Sandy's like wearing like just foregoing the whole like Sandra D look. She's like wearing like riding leathers. It's kind of like black. Her hair is like full blown messy. Like maybe she spent the better half of yesterday afterwards, like running around when she was able to be free again from whatever Merlin put her under in the woods, and like doesn't care anymore. Hair's like back with like all of the twigs in it and all of the like forest stuff through it, but like instead of being in front of her face, it's like pushed back, and she looks better than you might expect.
I think Trip's just wearing pants and just a red, like a dark red t-shirt, and like there's snow around, and there's like a little space that's been melted out just by his presence, and it just kind of turns and looks and sees all this, and just kind of does the like this kind of grown out faux hawk. It's just I think he's been scared to even mess with. Just kind of rubs the back of his head and just goes, "Do I really, though?"
Yeah, because I'm going in there, and I'm gonna need some backup. Hey, I'm still here. And so is everybody else. Whatever happened there, whatever you're afraid of, look, I'm okay.
It's like Shinnok said, I don't belong here.
Shinnok, she's one of my oldest friends, Trip, and it's hard for me to say something bad about one of my friends, but she used a lot of the things that each of us said, I think, in confidence towards her own ends, and that's maybe something that she and I will have to deal with another time. But nobody gets to decide what you want to do or who you're going to be. I've kind of stopped caring. And I know what it's like to feel like you're cursed, or that no one is ever going to see you for what you're going to be, and maybe our stories are just going to look a little strange. I'm also terrified of going into this party by myself. She gives you like a small shy smile as like a little like piece of her curls goes spring.
So I think at this point, you kind of see Trip's just body is just pretty tense, just kind of. All right, let's do this. What's the worst could happen?
I drink too much of the punch, and I make a complete fool of myself, and I trip over everything, and I crash into people, and the curtain catches on fire. I've run through a lot of this list already. Do you want more?
I was gonna say that we might die, but
that's on there. That was item 56 on this list. There's a whole notebook. Like she.
I think Trip like laughs a little bit at this, and it's probably the first time that it clearly surprises even him. He just doesn't really have the.
Okay, and she's gonna like take you by the arm and lead you inside. Like it looks like she's kind of exuding confidence, but you can feel like white knuckle, like, oh my god, no, but they're gonna talk more about it if I don't show up, and so here I go.
Mutual, like, there's definitely that sensation of, like, Trip's like, I am walking now.
Yep.
Walking is happening. There is walking going on. Let's ignore what's at the end of this said walking.
So our ever and never pair enter into the ballroom, and the crowd looks and almost nods with deference and turns away, giving them space and privacy. But we see Shinnok and Milo's eyes cut across the room, locked onto the pair. And up in the stairs, there's a second level that the stairs go up to, we see Professor Gaston with his long, slimy black ponytail. It's more greasy than slimy. Wearing a old suit with a big black cravat. Standing next to him is Dude of Gisborne. And he looks up and he's like, Professor, why are you still so mad? And he looks down at Dude. Did you know I went to the school for good? I was all set to be a hero in my tale. And then Belle comes along and turns me into a never, a villain. I can never forgive her for that. And her daughter will pay the price. Okay, thanks everyone.
I can just imagine the amount of stress that just got placed on poor little Dude. Like, he's just like, all right, Dude, okay,
What?
okay.
Yelling!
Wow, thank you, everyone. Thank you for a wonderful first season of the School for Evil and Good.
It's because of y'all we're getting that second season.
Right. Seriously.
Oh my gosh.
G. Michael Austin, thank you for being here. Of course, it's seeing you here every week. It has like made me really excited just to see and meet new viewers. Ari and the Artistically Inclined as well.
Yay,
as G. Michael
thank
Austin.
you, Ari.
I know I'm super grateful for you all being here and chat with us every week. I'm also super grateful to my evers and nevers. 7 weeks ago, I pitched this in the Discord, and the response was way better than I could have hoped.
Well, I know it doesn't make for particularly compelling streaming, but can we get a round of applause for Chris here?
Yeah.
Yay!
Thank you. I appreciate it.
For real, though.
Yeah, for putting it all together, for running the thing, and for knocking it out of the dang park.
Sincerely.
Keeping up with our bullshit.
I literally can only bat against balls that are pitched to me. So, you're a part of that as well. What a weird... I'm sorry, it's...
No, it's
okay.
perfect. I loved it.
This isn't the end of our Tuesday night streams, everyone. I will be stepping back, moving for the next 6 weeks, juggling spinning the other plates that ManaPot has. But our group here will continue on. David, tell us about Wand.
Yeah, so, folks, if you've enjoyed the group that you've seen on this stream, well, I got some good news for you. The majority of us are continuing on, and we are moving over to a world with a different magical school, the world of Harry Potter. However, we're going to investigate things far beyond the confines of the Hogwarts School for Witchcraft and Wizardry that we all know and love. we will be taking a group of witches and wizards on a globe-trotting Cold War era spy adventure set in the wizarding world.
It's gonna be pretty flippin' sweet.
I cannot wait for y'all to see it. I'm practically bursting.
I'm so excited to be doing it with this group. I'm so excited about the characters that everyone has been putting together behind the scenes as we do the build up to this. And I would highly encourage you to join us for the couple of weeks that we're running this in between seasons of School for Good and Evil, because it's going to be a great time.
So that'll pick up next Tuesday, same time, at 8 p.m. Eastern, and we'll run for 6 weeks until June 23rd, where we start the second season of the School for Evil and Good.
Which will be after something comes out, which is relevant.
Yeah, the sixth book in the School for Good and Evil book. The book series is coming out June 2nd. I don't know if it necessarily will, I'm sure it'll affect a little, what I plan over the next few weeks. But a lot of, I think a lot of the second year is really going to depend on what y'all do. There's not really the same term traditions. I mean, all of that stuff happens in winter. The Trial by Tale, the Circus of Talents. And when we pick up next year, in 6 weeks, it'll be summer. Or it'll be spring.
That's how seasons work.
Yes. So I might have to come up with some new traditions, or we'll have to work together to come up with some new traditions.
Or maybe we talk a little bit about one of them on the Discord, and we let some of these people in chat flex their creative muscles.
Join us in the Discord if you want to flex some creative muscles. We're always looking
flex
for
on us.
Flex on us. Exactly, Marcy. We're always looking for new role players to join our Wednesday, Friday happy hour one-shots and flights. So, check us out on everywhere. And I think, last words? Anyone?
Yes.
Thanks for watching. That's 3 words. And 1 number. No, 2 words and 1 number. Okay. Well, okay.
Anyone else?
Thanks to everybody for watching. This has been a blast for all of us, and it's been great sharing it with everybody out there on the stream, in the chat, etc. And I'm already incredibly excited to come back for season 2.
If you're a masochist and you can't get enough of this guy, I'm going to be on here tomorrow for ManaPot's Wednesday happy hour. And even better, if you really, really hate yourself and or love great GMing and an amazing cast, that also includes me. That's the only downside. On Sunday, there will be The Hole in the World, which is a phenomenal Invisible Sun stream.
Featuring your angsty canines.
Yeah, featuring, yes.
Mm-hmm.
That direction.
There you go.
I don't know what directions are.
You're this
It's
way.
this one. It's this one. Yeah. Me and Marcy will both be on the amazing Hole in the World Invisible Sun stream. You should totally come check us out. It's it'll mess with your mind. It's great. It's terrifying. Everything's horrible and everything's beautiful.
And we're totally in a non-angsty, super fine. Everything's fun and happy right now on that show. Definitely.
That'll last.
Yeah.
I'm convinced. It sounded very convincing.
It's very compelling, though, so you should show up. And as always, be good to each other. It's a pretty good baseline. Don't be a wang rod.
Stay safe.
Stay sane.
Don't be like Shinnok. Don't push all your friends away.
There's going to be some things that we'll all have to deal with in our second season. But without further pause, I will bid you all adieu and good night. Stay tuned for the raid. We'll be hopping over to Q Times. I think they're playing some D&D. Good night.
And good luck.